Hanlon, and I have the mineral iodide. Iodide is a different form of iodine. Dr. Group quoted, "Iodide simply represent a safe form of iodine for ingestion." So it's the same element, it's just a different expression of it. When we intake it and eat it, it's an iodide. The recommended dietary allowance is 150 micrograms of iodide daily, and that's for males and females over the age of 4 years old. In our book, Contemporary Nutrition by Wardlaw, he explains that it's about equivalent to about a half a teaspoon of the iodide fortified salt. The upper limits are 1,100 micrograms, according to the Dietary Reference Intake Institute of Medicine, and Wardlaw confirmed that, saying it's 1.1 milligram per day. And I realized after finding a third source, the Iodine Professional Health Fact Sheet, that that's actually for 19 years and older. If you're interested in a younger age, the upper limits are posted there, starting at 1 year old. Some excellent food sources of iodide is seaweed and dairy, seafood, grains, breast milk, baby formula, and then the iodide fortified salt. Maybe you were wondering, why do we fortify our salt with iodide? Well, it's because we were having a deficiency. Back in the 20s, during World War I, there was a population of people that would come and they would have this symptom or sign, I suppose you could say, of what's called goiter. And it's a result of having a deficiency. And I'll get to that later, but that's why they decided to add iodide to our salt, because it was easily bound to the salt, and it was a way that we could get it easily into our diet. So when you go to the store, you'll see the two different types of salt, the iodide fortified and regular. And the reason why iodide is so important is the function in our body is the thyroid hormone. The thyroid gland needs it to produce the hormones necessary for metabolism. So if we don't have enough iodide, then our thyroid isn't going to be able to release our hormones. So our metabolism is going to be affected, and so will our energy production. Some deficiency symptoms early on, so fetal development. The reason why a fetus would have a deficiency is because the mom is deficient in iodide. So what's going to happen is it's going to have some growth issues. His arms and legs are going to be shorter. He'll have some mental retardation, and this is known as cretinism. And then to the right there on the screen, you can see this is what I was talking about, the goiter. So this is later on, and the reason why this happens is because the thyroid is working so hard to try to pull iodide from the bloodstream that it enlarges. And it's painless, but it can get so large that it actually presses up against our windpipe, so it can cause obstruction of breathing. Some toxicity levels also include the goiter and the TSH levels being elevated in hypothyroidism. But as far as like the poisoning kind, Iodine Health Professional Fact Sheet explained that it can actually cause burning of the mouth, throat, and stomach, the fevers, vomiting, diarrhea, and it can even lead to a coma. So iodide is an essential mineral that can be obtained in trace amounts through proper diet. We pretty much get what we need, especially since I think both the U.S. and Canada provides the iodized fortified salts. And here's my references. And thank you for listening to my presentation on the mineral iodide.